Everyone, welcome to the audio lab. So we're gonna get started today. I hope you guys enjoyed the music and the visuals. A couple of examples of projects that other students before you have done in this space. But without further ado, let's get these screens up because we don't need them. Sweet. So today we'll be doing a couple of things during our workshop today. One, we'll be going through our website. Two, we'll be going through the inventory, all the stuff that we have within the space that's available to you guys. We'll also be talking about the few different ways you can get your audio connected within the space, your own laptop, or if you want to use our systems. We'll also talk a little bit about how documentation is done within this room. So if you're doing your projects, how do you document it? So let's go. First step. So right now, where you're sitting is the live room, and that is the control room back there. You guys are after the workshop. We have the space is completely free. Feel free to explore. If you have any questions, we can get into there. All right. So first things first. This is our website. If you guys want to write it down, or if you want the link to it, you can always ask the front desk. We will get that to you. And I'm just going to quickly guide you guys through the website. Voila, that's our website. So this website has all of the information for all of the different spaces that we have within the media commons. We're in the audio lab, so let's click on that. Again, if you want to request a reservation for this space, it's through there. Floor dimension plans. It also has the calendar that you guys can check out. So if you want to see if you want to get the certain dates that you want for your reservations, it's all available here. Something else available here is the inventory sheet, which you can see right here. This is a list of all of the equipment that we have: microphones, speakers, projectors, backline, so instruments that we have here. Yeah, that's about it. But all of this is available on the website, so you guys have access to it whenever you want. So let's do a quick overview of the audio lab. Some of you guys are new here, I'm assuming. But if you guys aren't, let's go through this again. So let's talk about the equipment that are available here, all right? Again, we saw this in the website, and let's talk about why this the space is actually used for. So a few things. One, people do large-scale immersive, large-scale recording sessions here. So that could be using, like, having an actual band here. You can have multiple rooms. So you can set up here in the live room, the ISO booths there. You can also do immersive audio playback. So as you can see, we have multiple speakers around us. So we have the capability to play back audio in whichever format that you want, like 3D audio. You can also do research related to 3D audio. There are a couple of students, especially in the immersive audio class from the MTech department, that do research on 3D audio here. And lastly, we do video documentations for other people's thesis, club activities and Zoom sessions, and we have a lot of broadcast capabilities as well. So, audio gear. So what do we run? So we run SSL System T digital mixing console. It's not here at the moment. It's in the control room back there, so you guys will get to see it. The first picture that you saw, that's the control room. We also have 50 Martin audio speakers all around you, which is configured through Dante. If you don't know what Dante is, it's basically a audio over IP facility, so you can send audio data through an Ethernet cable. And let's talk about, and why do we do this? Just so that you have access to a lot of different speakers all around you. Video gear. We also have 360 wall projection using ultra short throw Panasonic projectors. So you can see we have two projectors here projecting one image. And the reason why it's close by is you can have a session and you can stay right next to it and not really cast a shadow. That's the light. So you can say, so if you have installations and projects that you do, and you have people walking around, they can get really close to your projector and not cast a shadow. We also, and it's all run through our Crestron interface. We also have NDI capable cameras within this room. So you can see 1, 2, 3, one in the recording room, one in the room back there. all connected to this thing called as the New Tech TriCaster, so you can do video mixes, so you have multiple feeds coming in. So we basically have a multi-cam recording setup. We'll get into all of the nitty-gritty later. We also have a ceiling grid where you can see all these things are installed, where eventually you can also install DMX lights. We also have DMX lighting control available through that Ethernet patchway in the back. So yeah, this is the space. So just to get some terms out of the way, what we refer to these spaces within this room. This right here, this room is called the control room. That room back there is called the CMR. We'll go through it in the space later after the session's done. CMR, or the central machine room. We got the piano ISO booth, the drum ISO booth, and we also got the live rooms. So this is the same room, but from two different angles. It is a pretty big room. All right, so now let's get audio connected. So this is the part of the workshop where I show you how to connect your device, your playback system, to our system in the audio lab. So we call it plug and play. Basically, the idea is that you guys can get your laptop, bring it to the session, and plug it in directly, and it should work from the get-go. The reason why we do this is if you guys can come and set it up even without the help of a tech, as long as you can have a walk-in reservation, so you can just talk to the PAs in the front desk. If the space is available and ready to use, you guys can walk in, plug in your laptop, and work for whatever hours you need to work. So we'll first go through, and we'll slowly discuss we'll discuss each steps a little bit, and then I'll show you like a demonstration on how we do it. So whenever you guys have to actually do it in this space, it's going to be up. You guys, your memories will be really good. But don't worry, all of this stuff is available in this handy dandy QR code. If you guys want to scan it now, you guys can, but don't worry, it's always taped to this table, which is in this room. So whenever you guys are in here, that's our Bible, all right? That's what we need to refer to. It has all demos with basic stereo playback, immersive audio playback, and all the resources that you need to get going. All right, so step one, the first way to do it, all right? So we basically run this thing called as the SSL2 Plus, a basic stereo interface that most people would have had. This lives in this control room, in this live room right here, and you can run 2 channels in and out, and mainly 2 channels out to the speakers in front of you. So let's quickly discuss on how it is, and then I'll show you a demonstration on how it's done. First things first, you plug it in. Simple as that. You plug it into your computer. Make sure your SSL is your audio playback device. These are steps for Mac. If you use Windows, don't worry. It's practically the same thing. The only difference being you would have to install the ASIO driver, and the rest of the procedure is exactly the same. Step 2. Had a little picture here. Make sure this USB is connected to your computer. You have 2 headphone outs as well if you want to monitor something really quick from headphones at the same time while you have speakers running as well. And you have 2 TRS, so you have 2 jacks out that goes to the wall as left and right. And these converters are always going to be here, so you wouldn't worry. And you would connect them. But connect them where? So you would connect them to inputs 9 and 10 on the wall panel right there. So that cable would be always in the room at labeled 9 and 10, as you can see on the wall. And 9 referring to right, 10 referring to left. Sorry, the other way around, left and right. And make sure they're all connected with the provided TRS and adapters. And once you're connected, we should probably get a level going. So let's do that, right? I'm gonna get my computer out here. We take our SSL, make sure we have the dongle, because I used Type-C. We have that there. This dongle lives in this room as well, so we would not need to worry. Plug it in, and it should power up. Whee! As soon as that's done, we grab our cables from here. We also labeled it, or taped it as red for right and black for left. So we just plug it in. So left, right. All right, and then you have this big knob. Oh, allow accessory to connect. I will allow. And make sure that my playback device is the SSL2 Plus. If you use Windows, it's going to be a little different, but it's ideally the same thing. And as soon as you do that, make sure your volume's up on the monitor control. So that's the monitor control. This is for your headphones. You have this tiny little knob here for if you want to have direct monitor input or if you want to have computer input. And in this case, we want to keep it on USB because we're listening back to the computer. And link. Yeah, it works. Apologies for the rickroll, but I had to. But there you go. That was the first method of doing it. So why do we do it this way? It's super quick, super easy. You just want stereo output going into the speakers. Works right out of the box. And you don't really need anyone to help you out with this. Super easy. But if you do, always ask us. We're there to help. Step 2. Oh. Now, step 2. Now, we have this tiny little device called the RME DigiPhase Dante. You can see the big picture. It's kind of the same thing, smaller. This device lets you, why do we use this? So basically, if you connect this to your computer, you have 64 inputs and outputs, all connected through one cable, and you can route it out through an Ethernet connection that connects directly into our system here. So you would have access to all of the speakers at once, which is great. So let's talk about how to actually get this set up. So first things first, we got to download the RME driver. This goes for both Windows and Mac. You would need to make sure it's the right OS or the right, Monterey, whatever. You just got to make sure it's all written on the website. You should get it. As soon as you download it, finish the install. You should also download these files from the called the Audiolab Total Mix Workspace files. All of this is available on that link, and you scan right here. And then as soon as you install the drivers, you make sure you go to privacy settings. This is a Mac procedure. So make sure you go to privacy and security during the prompt installation and allow access and restart your computer once. If you don't do it within 30 minutes of you installing it, it's not going to work and you'll have to redo the installation process all over again. We've done that many times, but
Is that written in the manual somewhere?
No. Well, you mean our manual? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is written in our manual, but people tend to skip it.
Yeah.
So. Exactly. So make sure you restart your computer and you should be good to go. So now in this case, we're not using audio connections, we're using an Ethernet cable. So same thing as we look, we got to make sure it's connected into one of the Dante inputs on the wall. So the Dante inputs live right here. It's labeled as Dante. And make sure it's connected to the wall and the other end is connected to primary 1 of the USB, which is always going to be set up this way. And you should be good to go. Yeah, so let's quickly make sure this works. All right, so I'm going to plug this into my computer. You should see lights glow up. And you would see something like this called the Firephase USB settings. You really don't need to touch anything when it comes to this. And you would also see something called as Total Mix pop up. What is this? Let's talk about it. So Total Mix is basically the software that's inbuilt with RME that helps you control all the features RME has. It's kind of like a UI for that interface. And you can, for Mac, it should be in your applications section, but for PC, you just got to go to your Windows System 32, and you should find the application there. So why do we use this? Quick, let's do this super quick. So let's say I'm going to rickroll you guys again. All right. So we have 2 channels left and right coming out. Say you want to send these channels to the back. How do we do that? We know that the rear speakers are RSS and LSS. These are immersive audio terming formats. So I can just click on that. Oop. You might have heard it in the back. I can control left and right. Let's say I don't want to send it there. I don't want to send it there either. I want to send it to, let's say, this speaker. Oh, just this one right here. So you can send it wherever you want. The benefit of this is once you can make your own custom files. And once you do, you can always recall them whenever you want. And you don't have to, for example, when you're at home and you make an immersive mix, or if you do something in multi-channel, you might have a different configuration at home, but the configuration here might be a little different. You can just make the changes here instead of going into your session file and changing it every single time. You can have a unique session file and have this do all of your routing for you. And usually when you start your DigiDante phase, it wouldn't show up like this. It would be really basic and default. To get this view menu is where we go to that install where we talked about the workspace that we had to download from the handbook. So we can load that, for example here, load workspace. And in this case, yep, discard all changes. I have it saved right here. So this is just downloaded from the Google Drive link from the workspace. As soon as you click and load it, it should be back to system defaults and everything should work. Now that since we saw this, you see how there was a lot of numbers and letters that might not really make sense right now, but there's a handy guide that is also there in the link that I had mentioned earlier. This is the speaker order of every single speaker that we have within this space. So you got left, right, center, LFE, blah, 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 all the way down to each speaker on the pipes, height, mid, low. So we basically use something called as the SMPTE format. What is that? So in Dolby Atmos, we have this thing where we assign something called a 7.1.4. You might have all heard about it. What does that mean? So 7 is the speakers in your azimuth or in your surrounding plane. So you got 7 speakers around you. The .1 refers to the subwoofer, so your low frequency enhancers. And then you have .4, which is your heights. So the speakers above you are your heights. And this guide is also available in that link. So this should help with your projects. Here is another guide on each speaker location and its distance value. I know you can't really read it here, but on the actual website, it should be a lot more clearer. The distance and the azimuth and the angle from the sweet spot. Why is this there? You might be using other immersifying softwares like SPAT, Ableton, etc., whatever you're using. And you might need these calculations to optimize and calibrate your show file. So that's why these all are given to you. Always, these files and documents are available to all of you upon request. Just ask away. Now, this comes to the end of plug and play features. So we saw how to plug in your SSL. We also saw how to plug in your Dante RME Redface. All of these you can do by yourself without a technician. Now the next few steps that I'm going to do, you will definitely need a technician to help you out, but and should be straightforward after that. So now when we say playback from a DAW Mac, we're referring to our computer. So we have a computer within the studio that runs Pro Tools, which is the house DAW. And we use different immersifiers for it, like Dolby Atmos Renderer. And we also have Logic. Not a lot of people use Logic, but if you are one of those people who want to use Logic, that is also available. Now let's talk about something called as the Dolby Atmos renderer. What is it? You might have all heard about what Dolby Atmos is, what it is. So basically, Dolby Atmos renderer is the complete immersive audio package for creating deliverables, playing back audio. It basically allows producers and content creators to create sound within a 3D virtual space. So you create deliverables for any formats using like 7.1, stereo, binaural, 5.1, or any physical space like we have here. So how does it do that? So basically what it does, it has audio data and it has something called as location data, as metadata. Both of these data are stored into one file. So when you play it back, every single time you play it back, the file is rendered for that new space real time. All right? How it's done, we're going to quickly go through a couple of it. So this is what the Dolby Atmos renderer looks like. You might have seen pictures. Again, as we talked about, it's a software that lets users monitor masters through different sites of formats. It has up to 128 inputs, like using something called as objects and beds. This is not really a hardcore mixing class. You can definitely explore on this eventually. And there are two versions of this that I'm going to quickly run through. We have the Pro Tools renderer, which is the internal one, and then you have the Dolby Atmos renderer, which is the external one. So first things first, the internal one. Why do we use it? Internal one is what comes with Pro Tools. It's inside Pro Tools. As soon as you get a Pro Tools license, it comes free with you. It's easy to access. It does not take a lot of time to set up. In fact, it's just one checkbox, and you got it running just like normal. Again, easy, convenient workflow. It has integrations with Pro Tools, and you can also have different binaural settings. If you don't know what binaural is, it's basically how immersive audio is folded down for headphones. So you can experience immersive audio without having the capabilities of actual speakers around you. Why do we do that? Again, same thing. No speakers around you, but you want to monitor it quick. So you get like rough mixes out, and then once you do get it to a space like this, it should relatively sound similar. And no need for something called as the Dolby Audio Bridge. We'll talk about that in the next slide. But it doesn't need any separate devices or hardware engines, and it's simple. That's the whole point that I want to make across. Second, the Logic internal renderer. Very similar to Pro Tools. This is within Logic, and it's very easy to set up. It lets you use Dolby Atmos mixes for different formats, and it goes all the way up to 7.1.4, and yeah, same methods of mixing styles, and it lets users have beds and objects within the space. Down mix and trim controls. Now the fun part, the Dolby Atmos renderer. As you can see there, you got a lot more settings, a lot more features with the external renderer. This is a paid software, but we do have it available within our studio, so it's all you guys are free to use it. You can load something called as ADM files. Basically, it's your files with your audio and metadata. Hello, welcome. And it's compatible with different headphones. It works with something called as the Dolby Atmos Music Planner plugins. That's a free plugin bundle that you guys can download from Dolby. It has something called as room EQ and room correction. Why is that useful? So as we mentioned earlier, Dolby Atmos lets you create mixes and it renders real time to your particular room. So having the room EQ and room correction for the room that you're in makes sure that the audio that you play back is as realistic and as authentic and flat response as you can. So when you move to a different studio or a different space, it's gonna, and if that studio has a calibration setting on, it should ideally sound exactly the same. So it's trying to make sure everything is in unity or calibrated. It has additional widths for larger speaker layouts. We'll all get into this. And it's got loudness meters, and you got a lot more options when it comes to that. So how does audio signals just works? I'm just gonna quickly run through it. So when you're using the external renderer, audio from your Pro Tools and data goes through the Dolby Atmos bridge, which is basically a virtual cable that connects it to Dolby Atmos renderer. From here, your Dolby Atmos renderer talks to your interface. In this case, we use the Avid HDX in the studio, and then from here, it goes to your speakers. All right? Immersive documentation. Why would you want to do that? Most projects that people do here work with immersive audio. So you have immersive audio, you have immersive video, and most people think it's a good idea to document that in the correct way. So we do that in a few different ways. So we got the audio format and then the video format. So for audio, we use the Rode NT1 ambisonic microphone. You can see that hanging from the top right here in the middle of the room. So the ambisonic microphone captures audio within this space as realistically as possible, assuming you're standing right there. And it basically gives you 4 tracks of audio that then you can later decode into multiple immersive audio formats. It can be either 7.1.4, 5.1, binaural, etc. So that's how the mic looks like. It's 4 capsules. We also got the new tech TriCaster video system, as I mentioned earlier, to do multicam. So something like this, where you have like a drummer, if you want to have multicam recordings, that is the new tech TriCaster system. And this is a service that you guys can avail if you request it, during your projects, and we shall make it available to you. So when you do request it, what do you get at the end of the day? You get the multi-camera video files, which are all high def. You also get a video mix file. So if you have a dedicated video mix person, we can set them up on the TriCaster and you'll get the videos mixed real time. You also will be getting the Pro Tools session with all the individual tracks of the ambisonic microphone, plus all the other audio outputs that are happening within this space. You'll also get a binaural or a stereo down mix of the ambisonic recording. And you'll get, all of these are going to be high quality files. So for audio, you're going to get it at 48 kilohertz, 24-bit. And for video, you can either get anything from 1080p to 4K. And here is a quick example of how documentation is done. This is Jason, who is doing a sound bath within this exact same space. And he is using all the 50 speakers around us using the RME, which is this guy. So that's what he's controlling down there. And he's got multi-camera setup done, which later on all the multicam footage is then sent out to you, so you guys can edit it, do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Jason did. And here's a quick example. I believe the Scarlett is muted from the back, so that's probably why. There you go. This is a really long video. I'm gonna scrub through it just to show you guys how it is. So as you can see, it's a new camera angle. He's controlling audio real time, I believe using Ableton. Let's skip through that. And you have capabilities for DMX lights within this space as well. So yeah, that's how other documentation is done within this space. So that sort of brings us to the end of it. So it's really quick explanation on how. So just to revise, these are the things that we did. We talked about the equipments in the space. We talked about how we can connect the SSL as well as the RME to your own leisure. We also did talk about the Pro Tools DAW. It's an additional feature you guys can request, and we will help you out with it. and the immersive documentation that we can do in this space. So I'd really look forward to seeing your projects.